Hey there, my amazing English learners. I'm Aurora, and welcome back to English with Aurora. Today, I have something incredibly special for you, something that's going to completely transform the way you think about improving your English listening and speaking skills. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to pick up English so naturally, while others struggle for years? The answer isn't about being naturally gifted or having a special talent. It's about one simple thing that most people completely ignore: a consistent daily routine that targets both listening and speaking together. Today, I'm going to share with you my proven 20-minute daily routine that has helped thousands of my students go from feeling frustrated and stuck to actually having real conversations in English with confidence. And the best part? You only need 20 minutes a day. Yes, just 20 minutes. But before we dive in, let me tell you about Maria. Maria came to me 8 months ago, completely discouraged. She had been studying English for 3 years, knew tons of grammar rules, had a huge vocabulary, but when someone spoke to her in English, she would freeze. She couldn't understand movies, she couldn't follow conversations and speaking. Forget about it. She was convinced she would never be fluent. Fast forward 8 months, and Maria just landed her dream job at an international company where she conducts meetings in English every day. What changed? She started following this exact 20-minute routine I'm about to share with you. Now I know what you're thinking. Aurora, I've tried everything. I've watched movies, I've listened to podcasts, I've practiced speaking, but nothing seems to stick. I hear you, and I understand your frustration because I've been there too. The problem isn't that you're not smart enough or don't have enough time. The problem is that most people approach listening and speaking as separate skills, but here's what nobody tells you: they're not separate at all. They're two sides of the same coin, and when you practice them together in the right way, magic happens. So grab your notebook, get comfortable, and let's dive into this game-changing routine. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear, step-by-step plan that you can start using today. The foundation: why this works. Before we jump into the routine, let me explain why this approach is so powerful. Your brain learns language through patterns and repetition, but not just any repetition, meaningful repetition. When you combine listening and speaking in short, focused sessions, you're training your brain to recognize sounds, process meaning, and produce language simultaneously. Think about how you learned your native language. You didn't study grammar rules first. You listened, you mimicked, you practiced, and gradually, everything started making sense. This routine recreates that natural learning process, but in a structured, accelerated way. Minutes 1-5, Active Listening Foundation. The first 5 minutes of our routine is what I call active listening foundation. This isn't passive listening where you have something playing in the background while you do other things. This is intentional, focused listening that trains your ear to catch every detail. Here's exactly what you do. Choose a short audio piece. It could be a news segment, a podcast excerpt, or even a YouTube video. But here's the key: it should be slightly above your current level. Not so easy that you understand everything, but not so difficult that you're completely lost. Listen to this audio piece 3 times with 3 different focuses. The first time, just listen for the general idea. Don't worry about understanding every word. Ask yourself, what is this about? What's the main topic? The second time, listen for specific information. Try to catch names, numbers, dates, or key phrases. This is where your brain starts picking up details. The third time, listen and try to catch the emotions and intentions behind the words. Is the speaker excited, worried, explaining something, telling a story? Let me give you a practical example. Imagine you're listening to someone say, "I was running late for my meeting this morning because the traffic was absolutely terrible. I called my boss to let her know I'd be about 15 minutes behind schedule." First, listen. You understand it's about someone being late. Second, listen. You catch meeting, morning, traffic, 15 minutes. Third, listen. You hear the stress and frustration in absolutely terrible and the responsibility in calling the boss. This layered approach trains your ear to process English the way native speakers do, not word by word, but in chunks of meaning. Minute 6 10, shadow speaking practice. Now we move into what I call shadow speaking. This technique is incredibly powerful, and here's why. You're training your mouth, your brain, and your ear all at the same time. Take the same audio you just listened to and play it again, but this time, try to speak along with the speaker. Don't worry about being perfect. Don't pause to look up words. Just let your mouth follow the rhythm and sounds as closely as possible. At first, you might only catch a few words here and there, and that's perfectly fine. Your goal isn't perfect repetition. It's training your speech muscles and your brain to work together at natural speed. Here's what's happening in your brain during shadow speaking. You're processing sounds, activating your speech muscles, matching rhythm and intonation, and building fluency connections all simultaneously. It's like a full workout for your English skills. Let's practice with a common workplace scenario. Imagine shadowing this conversation. Good morning, Sarah. Do you have a minute to discuss the quarterly report? Of course, Mike. I was actually hoping to get your feedback on the sales figures. Perfect. I noticed a significant increase in the third quarter. What do you think contributed to that growth? As you shadow this, you're not just repeating words, you're absorbing the natural flow of professional English, the way questions are formed, the polite expressions, and the rhythm of business conversation. Minutes 11:15, structured speaking practice. The next 5 minutes is where everything comes together. This is your structured speaking practice, and it's where you'll see the most dramatic improvement in your confidence. Here's what you do. Take the content you just listened to and shadowed, and now make it your own. If you listen to a news report about weather, talk about the weather in your city. If you heard a restaurant conversation, create your own restaurant scenario. The key is to use similar structures and vocabulary, but personalize the content. This bridges the gap between understanding English and actually using it in real situations. Let me show you how this works with a travel scenario. Suppose you listened to someone saying, "Excuse me, could you help me find the departure gate for flight 447 to London? I'm a bit lost, and my boarding time is in 30 minutes. Now, create your own version. Excuse me, could you tell me where I can find a taxi to downtown? I just arrived, and I need to get to my hotel before 6 o'clock. You're using the same polite structure, the same way of asking for help, but you're making it relevant to your own potential travel needs. This is where the magic happens. You're not just memorizing phrases, you're learning to adapt and use English flexibly, which is exactly what you need for real conversations. Minute 16:20, reflection and recording asterisk. The final 5 minutes might be the most important part of the entire routine. This is your reflection and recording time, where you consolidate everything you've learned and track your progress. First, spend 2 minutes reflecting on what you just practiced. Ask yourself, what new phrases did I learn? What sounds were challenging? What felt natural? This reflection time helps your brain organize and store the new information. Then, spend 3 minutes recording yourself speaking about the topic you just practiced. Don't script it out, just talk naturally for about 1 to 2 minutes, using whatever vocabulary and structures you remember from the session. Here's why recording is so powerful. It gives you objective feedback about your progress, helps you notice patterns in your mistakes, and most importantly, builds your confidence as you hear yourself speaking English fluently. Let me share another success story. David, one of my students, was terrified of speaking English at work. He understood everything people said to him, but when it was his turn to speak, he would panic and forget everything. David started this routine focusing on workplace scenarios. Every day, he would listen to business conversations, shadow professional dialogues, and practice workplace situations. Within 6 weeks, he volunteered to lead a presentation in English. His colleagues were amazed at his transformation. Real-world applications. Let me show you how to adapt this routine for different situations you'll encounter in real life. Restaurant scenarios, asterisk. For your listening foundation, find audio of people ordering food, asking about menu items, or dealing with restaurant situations. Here are some key phrases you might encounter. I'd like to make a reservation for 2 people at 7:30. Could you recommend something from the menu? I'm not familiar with this type of cuisine. I have a food allergy. Is this dish prepared with any nuts? Could we have the check, please? And would it be possible to split it 2 ways? When you shadow these conversations, you're training your mouth to produce these essential restaurant phrases smoothly. Then, in your structured practice, create your own restaurant scenarios using similar patterns. Airport and travel situations, asterisk. Travel English is crucial for many of you, so let's practice with some common airport scenarios. I'm checking in for the flight to Miami. Here's my passport and booking confirmation. Has my luggage been transferred to the connecting flight? I'm worried it might get lost. Excuse me, where can I find the baggage claim for international arrivals? I need to change my seat assignment. Is there anything available closer to the front? When you practice these scenarios, you're preparing yourself for real travel situations where confidence and clarity are essential. Job interview preparation, asterisk. Many of you are preparing for job interviews in English, so let's look at some typical interview exchanges. Tell me about yourself and why you're interested in this position. What would you say is your greatest strength, and how would it benefit our team? Describe a challenging situation you faced at work and how you resolved it. Do you have any questions about the company or the role? Notice how these questions require more than just vocabulary knowledge. They need fluent, confident responses that show your personality and professionalism. Making friends and social conversations, asterisk. English isn't just for business, it's for building relationships too. Here are some friendly conversation starters and responses. How was your weekend? Did you do anything interesting? I love your jacket. Where did you get it? Have you seen that new movie everyone's talking about? What did you think? Would you like to grab coffee sometime this week? I know a great place downtown. These social phrases help you connect with people and build genuine friendships in English. Advanced techniques for faster progress. Once you're comfortable with the basic routine, here are some advanced techniques to accelerate your progress. Emotion matching, asterisk. When you shadow speak, don't just copy the words, match the speaker's emotions and energy. If they're excited, be excited. If they're explaining something serious, match that tone. This trains you to use English with natural emotional expression. Speed variation, asterisk. Practice the same content at different speeds. Start slow, then gradually increase the speed until you can keep up with fast, natural speech. This builds your processing speed and reaction time. Context switching, asterisk. Take vocabulary and structures from one scenario and use them in a completely different context. For example, take polite phrases from a restaurant conversation and use them in a shopping situation. The science behind the success, asterisk. Let me explain why this routine works so well from a scientific perspective. Your brain has something called neuroplasticity, the ability to form new neural connections throughout your life. When you combine listening and speaking practice in focused, daily sessions, you're literally rewiring your brain for English. The 20-minute time frame is perfect because it's long enough to create meaningful learning, but short enough to maintain focus and avoid mental fatigue. Consistency is more important than duration, and 20 minutes daily will give you better results than 3 hours once a week. The combination of listening and speaking activates multiple areas of your brain simultaneously. Your auditory cortex processes sounds, your motor cortex controls speech production, and your prefrontal cortex manages language understanding and planning. Overcoming common challenges, ***. Let me address some challenges you might face and how to overcome them. I can't understand anything. Start with content that's slightly easier than what I recommended. Use materials with subtitles initially, but wean yourself off them gradually. Remember, understanding comes in waves. Some days will be better than others. I feel stupid when I shadow speak. Everyone feels awkward at first. This feeling is normal and temporary. The key is to focus on the rhythm and music of the language rather than perfect pronunciation. I don't have anything interesting to say during speaking practice. Start with simple, personal topics. Talk about your day, your family, your hobbies, your dreams. The goal is to use English, not to be profound. I can't hear the difference between similar sounds. This comes with time and practice. Focus on the sounds that are most challenging for speakers of your native language and be patient with yourself. Building your personal learning environment. Success with this routine also depends on creating the right environment for learning. Find a quiet space where you can speak without feeling self-conscious. Use good headphones for clear audio. Keep a notebook nearby for jotting down new phrases or observations. Consider practicing in front of a mirror during your speaking segments. This helps you become aware of your facial expressions and mouth movements, which are crucial for clear pronunciation. Tracking your progress. Keep a simple learning journal where you note what topics you practiced each day, new phrases or vocabulary you learned, challenges you noticed, improvements you observed. Every week, listen to one of your recordings from the beginning of the week. You'll be amazed at how much clearer and more confident you sound after just 7 days of consistent practice. Creating variety in your practice ***. To keep your routine engaging, rotate through different types of content. Monday, news and current events. Tuesday, workplace scenarios. Wednesday, social conversations. Thursday, travel and tourism. Friday, shopping and services. Saturday, entertainment and culture. Sunday, personal stories and experiences. This variety ensures you're prepared for English in all areas of life, not just one specific context. The compound effect. Here's what many people don't realize. Improvement in English doesn't happen linearly. It happens in jumps. You might feel like you're not making progress for several days, then suddenly everything clicks and you have a breakthrough. This is called the compound effect. Every day of practice builds on the previous day, even when you can't see the progress immediately. Trust the process, stay consistent, and the results will come. Beyond the 20 minutes. While this 20-minute routine is your foundation, look for opportunities throughout the day to reinforce what you're learning. When you hear English in movies, TV shows, or real conversations, notice the phrases and structures you've been practicing. Try to use new phrases you've learned in real conversations, even if it's just ordering coffee or making small talk with a colleague. The goal is to bridge the gap between practice and real-world use. Your journey starts now. I want you to know that every single person who has become fluent in English started exactly where you are right now. They had doubts, they made mistakes, they felt frustrated, but they kept going. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't talent or natural ability, it's consistency and the right approach. This 20-minute routine gives you that right approach. It's scientifically sound, practically tested, and proven to work. But here's the thing, I can give you the best method in the world, but it only works if you use it. I challenge you to commit to this routine for the next 30 days. Just 30 days. Mark it on your calendar, set a reminder on your phone, tell a friend about your commitment. Do whatever it takes to make it happen. Imagine where you could be 30 days from now if you practice for just 20 minutes every single day. Imagine the confidence you'll feel, the conversations you'll be able to have, the opportunities that will open up for you. You have everything you need to succeed. You have the method, you have the time, and most importantly, you have the desire to improve. That desire brought you here today, and it's going to carry you to fluency. Remember, every expert was once a beginner. Every fluent speaker was once where you are right now, wondering if they would ever feel confident in English. But they didn't give up, and neither should you. Your English-speaking future is waiting for you. It's just 20 minutes away every single day. Are you ready to make it happen? Start tomorrow morning, or even better, start today. Find your first audio, set your timer, and take the first step toward the confident, fluent English speaker you're meant to become. I believe in you, and I can't wait to hear about your progress. Remember, you're not just learning English, you're opening doors to new relationships, new opportunities, and a whole new version of yourself. Keep practicing, keep believing, and keep moving forward. Your English journey is just beginning, and it's going to be amazing. See you in the next video, where we'll dive even deeper into advanced techniques for English mastery. Until then, happy learning, and remember, you've got this.